Dear boomers, do you ever wonder how philosophical concepts and theories have influenced your life up until this moment and going forward, may I add? So stay tuned as we explore the transformational power of philosophy in our not only in our everyday lives, but in our dreams and everywhere we actually live and talk to people in the arena of the public marketplace. We are influenced by the philosophy of the day. So here we are, uh, delving into the world of philosophical ideas. And it's so exciting, really, because, whether it's Stoicism, existentialism, or mindfulness, I guess that's considered a philosophy. These things have shaped our thoughts and actions throughout our lives, throughout our day, throughout our minutes. So basically, it's very interesting. The key figures in every century for the philosophical thinking would be Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. That would be 600 BC to 400 BC. The philosophical implications are very interesting. My mother, for instance, used to talk about the philosophical ideas of Aristotle and Socrates and the ethics, the nature of knowledge, the metaphysics. And Plato introduced the, quote, theory of form, which poses ideas as the truest reality, and Aristotle emphasized empirical observation and categorization. Medieval philosophy talked about the philosophies of the philosophers of the time, which would be Augustine, Thomas Aquinas, and they talked about Greco-Roman philosophical principles with religious texts, leading to the development of scholasticism. Aquinas synthesized Aristotle philosophy with Christian theology, emphasizing natural law and divine order. I'll never forget hearing about Thomas Aquinas at the end of his life, because he kept writing. He wrote massive amounts of things for people to study, outlining his philosophical ideals and ideas. And at the end of his life, he decided that he had talked too much and he would never say another word. And I don't know when he died after that, but he actually kept to that. And I found that to be very interesting. So the Renaissance philosophy, I always was attracted to the Renaissance. We had, at that time, Machiavelli, Erasmus, Francis Bacon, and they moved away from what had gone before and moved into what is called humanism. Humanism emphasizes the importance of human values and religious beliefs. And then the modern philosophy period, which would be the 17th to the 19th century, those key figures were Descartes, Kant, and Hegel, and they were marked by the rise of skepticism and enlightenment. That's very interesting. And then we have Marx and Nietzsche in the 19th century, and they were very interesting too, because they discussed diversification into areas like phenomenology. I remember that from discussions when I was younger. We would talk about that. Existentialism, structuralism, and post-structuralism. And then the contemporary philosophers, now we get into who might be women in this group, would be Judith Butler, Daniel Dennett, and Martha Nussbaum. let me go through this. Nussbaum was interesting. She integrated classical philosophical ideas with human rights discourse, including feminism and the timeless and timely issues that shows that these past philosophers are very much, it's like an evolution. It's like Darwin's evolution, the evolution from philosophical ideas from Aristotle and Plato up until present time. It's evolved. It hasn't discounted anything in the past, but it has evolved into what we see today. Now, you can see how these philosophies impact personal growth, and we can see how the profound influence of these philosophers are important for our personal development, and whether it's Stoicism, existentialism, or mindfulness, we can see that these concepts have had an impact on countless people. And I must say, I didn't know that mindfulness was considered a philosophy. And then we had Will Johnson on the show, and he combines marijuana and meditation. And I guess that could be considered a philosophy too. And then you have Joe Dispenza, who expresses how thoughts become things, or change your thoughts, change your life, better than any other person that has gone before. But if it weren't for the people that had gone before, his philosophy would not have been as impactful to anybody, because these people before him, and I'm thinking of Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, if it weren't for those people, they laid the foundation for people like Joe Dispenza, and I find that to be really interesting. Very, very interesting. So when it's hard to apply certain philosophies that have gone before because they're so esoteric. I remember, as I said, sitting at the dinner table at 248 East Clay Street in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and listening to my mother, who understood these concepts, try to explain it to us as children. Well, of course, we kind of went, we plugged out. That's fine. And therefore, Marcus Aurelius, he was a Stoic philosopher, said, which is very interesting, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. And this is exactly what the New Age thinkers say today. Now, it's strange. It's not New Age philosophy. It has been going down through the centuries. And that is why we can't call the New Age anything other than Old Age philosophy. But I mean, the paradigms have shifted to a point in time when so many people are grasping these philosophies. Thoughts become things. You are what you think every moment of every day. So you can change your thoughts and change your life. Those things would not even have any meaning if it weren't for the philosophers that have gone before. So here we have an idea, a call to action, that I would like to know how these philosophical ideals have influenced your life. How has your life changed by understanding these principles, or trying to understand them and sharing them with people in your life? When you share these principles, you are understanding them. I mean, when you talk to somebody about what you're learning and you turn to that person and tell them what you are learning, and then they turn to you and say how they have learned. You are cementing neuro pathways in the brain, making connections all the time, and that is how you learn, and that's how the brain likes this. The brain is tired of you concentrating on only the past, the things that have hurt you. grievances and the unforgivenesses and the lack of love of the people in your life, because your cortisol levels in your brain are going out of or having conniptions. But when you can just breathe through the heart, down through the body, through the heart, up to the brain, you can just get rid of all these anxieties. It's just amazing. So I would like you to let me know how any of these philosophies have changed your life for the better, of course, and how we will continue to explore the power of ideas, the power of the mind, and different things that boomers have to contend with. As a boomer myself, I was raised differently in the sense that we didn't have television. We didn't rarely watch television, especially when we ate dinner, except for the one time I discussed when my mother and I were watching television during the Vietnam War, and the monk who set himself on fire for the world to see. We never watched television and ate again, because that was not a good idea. Please subscribe to the channel. I hope to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of May, beginning of June. And I would like to continue doing these daily videos for you and for me and for everybody, because I want us all to grow together and love together unconditionally, through forgiveness and through love. Thank you. Namaste. Peace on earth. Bye-bye.